film I'm going to talk about is the one that just got streaming on Apple Plus streaming service, and that is called Cherry, which is directed by the Russo brothers, Anthony Russo and Joe Russo. Probably recognize those names from Avengers Endgame, with the highest grossing film of all time. Wait a second. Nope, take that back. No, it's still Avatar. Avatar got a re-release in China and has taken over the throne of Avengers Endgame. Who cares about Avatar right now? But anyway, Cherry, starring Tom Holland of MCU fame. He's the Spider-Man. He also was in like films like The Impossible, which I actually think he's really good in that movie. I'm not a really big fan of the film itself, but I thought he was a breakout star in that movie. He also appeared in like Spider-Man Homecoming, Far From Home. He was the voice of the main kid in Onward. He appeared in like Locke. He's like a voice in there. And he also had another big starring thing with the devil all the time. Now, I did not see that. If you guys did review that on the podcast, make sure you check out where you listen to your podcast. There's audio format of that review. But also saw Ciara Bravo, Jack Renner. Some other people show up in this one as well. No huge stars other than Tom Holland. And this is definitely a vehicle for Tom Holland to shine some drama chops. Now, apparently this is based off a book of some kind, I believe. I have not read the book. But I know that this one was one of those films that you kind of had to watch. A lot of people were buzzing online when it was getting near, and people were getting the screeners for it. And, I kind of didn't really get into the hype or anything like that. I was like, it's going to be another Tom Holland movie with the Russo brothers. It's kind of cool. I'm kind of interested to see what they do, especially after Extract came out last year on Netflix Extraction with Chris Hemsworth, so another Russo project. And he had 21 Bridges a few years before that with Chadwick Boseman. So they've done some stuff outside of the MCU, but this is one of the first ones they've done directing-wise. And they do take some stylistic choices here that I have to appreciate, and I kind of enjoyed as well. It's definitely a different kind of scope. This film deals with Tom Holland as he is a character that is flawed in many ways. He starts kind of as a kind of a wimpy kind of guy, didn't really stick up for himself too much, and became into this relationship with Ciara Bravo's character, Emily. And Ciara Bravo, Bravo was also in movies like Neighbors 2. She appeared in, let's see, this is definitely her biggest movie, but Neighbors 2 was one she appeared as a minor character. Angels and Demons, she appeared in To the Bone, which I believe is a Netflix film as well. Some other ones I've never even heard of, so we're not going to talk about them. But anyway, so Tom Holland and her character. So Tom Holland plays Cherry, and Ciara Bravo plays Emily, and they have their relationship, and we go through young love, and one person, they can also commitment issues, and these are both flawed characters, and eventually somehow one thing leads to another, and Tom Holland's character signs up for the military, and he goes off to war and sees some really bad stuff, and comes back with some PTSD, and becomes becomes a addiction film, then it becomes a heist film. So romance, there's it's like 4 different parts that are kind of squished into this 2.5-ish hours runtime. You have your romance at the beginning, you have your military war film, which actually has some pretty cool parts in it, and then you have your addiction film, and then you have your heist as well. Some fun stuff here. I think it's overly flawed, however. The script is kind of all over the place, but Tom Holland does his best to hold this film together, and it's definitely a film that shows that he can do more than just Spider-Man movies or Avengers movies. But the best way I described it, I texted the guys, Zach and Todd. I said, I saw Cherry, but this is totally a film that is only out to do one thing, and that is to show that the actor and the directors are not just one-trick ponies. Basically, they're not just the Marvel guys. They can do other things. And it brings up the example of Disney stars, Disney Channel stars, or the Mickey Mouse Club stars, like looking like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake and Ryan Gosling. Those are the Mickey Mouse stars. And you have the Disney stars were like Selena Gomez, Vanessa Hutchinson, Zac Efron, those kind of characters going out and trying to do something crazy after they get out of these, Disney contracts or after their shows expire, to do something big, bold, and in your face. to prove they're not that's these Disney innocent characters and kind of break an image. Sometimes it pays off for people. Other times, like maybe Hilary Duff and Frank Muniz, that kind of stuff, they kind of cave under a lot of the scrutiny. And Shia LaBeouf actually is another good one that kind of falls in this camp where they kind of got messed up by the system, unfortunately. I guess Lindsay Lohan. There's a lot of people that kind of get messed up in the system. I'm not sure that's where Tom Holland's headed. This is definitely a different animal. It's Marvel. It's still in the Disney household, but hopefully things have changed a little bit. But anyway, I think Tom Holland does a really good job in this film portraying these different emotions and seeing him do these outrageous things and completely different than Peter Parker is kind of refreshing. But what the crazy part is the direction of the Russo brothers. There's some really cool shots they set up in this and how they are able to move through the story, not necessarily flawlessly, not full of grace, mind you, but kind of choppily. And it feels at times that there's parts where it's kind of slow, than other kinds you want to take a moment to kind of grasp what's happening. It's kind of a mess, I think they are very good directors. They're definitely trying to do something artistic. I definitely see what they're going for. This is not like a horrible movie. I might be kind of trashing it a little bit. It is a messy movie, however, and I know it's getting kind of panned online. But I kind of gotta go to like 2.5 stars for me on this film. Originally, I think I sent in like a 2-star rating, and I hear on Almost Sideways we only do 4 stars. But I'm kind of going to mid ground here because I can appreciate. I think my appreciation for the movie kind of bumps it up to 2.5. I wasn't bored. I was entertained, kind of, especially during that second act when you have the war elements. But when he starts suffering from PTSD, he gets addicted to the drugs and becomes addiction. It's kind of harder to watch because I'm still thinking of because you're looking at Peter Parker, Spider-Man, essentially, who's in high school like last year in the movies, and now he's this guy who's out of college and suffering PTSD. So it's kind of unsettling at times to see that. And you gotta get that out of your head that it's actually not Peter Parker. It's an actor, Tom Holland. But overall, I think it's a watchable movie, especially if you have Apple Plus. It's worth the watch to at least experience something different from these cast of characters. Overall, I might be interested in giving it another watch and see what happens. But it could make me more positive for the movie. It may also make me less interested in it. Who knows? But the real question, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, let me know in the comments section down below what you guys think about the film. Do you guys like it? Did you not like it? Or if you're listening and you want to talk about the film, hit me up on Twitter, Adam Sideways, or our website's Twitter channel, which is at Almost Sideways. Hit us up there, tag us there, and talk about Cherry with us. So